Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
And welcome to the program and happy day before Thanksgiving. I have a feeling this is one of those days when most people are already sort of taking the holiday, right? It starts earlier than it used to. Maybe even on Monday, for all I know. Anyway, hope some of you are there, and hope I can keep from coughing too much. It's not a good start. Hope we can keep the show on the air, and hope I don't know. Hope my brother calls in. He was saying he could, perhaps, who the hell knows, and I'll keep an eye on that and hope he's able to call in. He had a doctor's appointment. He had, you know how people have cataract surgery now and don't think anything of it? Everybody just, I'm having cataract surgery. They go in, come out, and say, it's amazing. I can see again. Well, my brother went in to have cataract surgery, and he came out like half blind. Not funny. And I lost count. I think 2 or 3 surgeries to correct whatever the hell went wrong on the first one didn't get him any better. So he's finally had a surgery that looks like it's working, where they implanted an entirely new lens in his eye, and I think he's at the doctor right now. But I'm hoping if he gets done, he'll call in and we can have him make us as anxious as he is about gift giving. Because one of you, Art, suggested that would be a good guest to have. Yeah, happy Gluttony Day Eve, indeed. Man. You know what I ate yet? I don't know. Don't admit it. Don't admit it. Don't admit it. Don't admit it. I mean, I got an early start. I had 3 chocolate chip cookies for breakfast, and I polished off the rest of the box last night. Just grotesque. At some point, it was like potato chips. I don't think I was even tasting it. That's like, that's a form of mental illness when you're eating like that. So, guys, I don't know. I don't think I've said much about how thrilled I am for the Post-Gazette strikers, who stayed out years at great cost to themselves, with never any idea if they would get their jobs back. And they went back to work on Monday because a court ordered the PG to take them back. However, I haven't seen reporting, and I'm wondering if any of you have. Well, you won't see it in the PG, but I saw pictures of some of these intrepid striking reporters heading back into the building, getting into the elevator and going up to the newsroom. And what I want to know is what happened then. Because imagine that. They're going back to their workplace that they have not been in for years because they are a principled lot. And they're seeing the unprincipled lot that took their jobs sitting in their desks. So some of whom used to be their colleagues. many of whom actually were their colleagues and didn't go. So I'm just wondering. I would so want to hear what's some of the interactions have been in that newsroom. It would really be fascinating. I don't believe anybody came to blows. We surely would have heard of that, but the amount of emotion on all sides, perhaps the shame of the scabs. It just seems like such a pregnant, fraught moment, and I've seen nothing. No reportage or scuttlebutt about the scene. And my understanding is, as much as I understand any of this, is that, I don't know, are we going to start seeing, can I buy a PG now? I haven't laid eyes on that or hands on that newspaper or eyeballs, and certainly haven't given them a penny since the strike began. So since the strikers are back, I guess I could, but I'm afraid to take out a subscription if in fact the PG is gonna, again, because they've shown that they treat these people with bad faith, that they may in fact continue to do so. I don't know. I'm looking for guidance. And if anyone has any brilliant ideas, thoughts, or information, please send it my way, because I am really happy that these folks, good people, some of whom I know, truly have something to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. It's been a rough road. So, that said, I just want to point out, and I don't know if any of you had the same thought, perhaps you saw that the president of Brazil has been ordered by the Supreme Court of that nation, which is often in reportage called a young democracy. The Supreme Court of this young democracy has ordered the president, who has been found guilty of attempting to overthrow, subvert a democratic presidential election, to prison. He's found guilty. He's been sentenced to, I forget, a sizable prison term, 20-some years. And he's been under house arrest. And he started fiddling with his whatever they call those things, ankle thing. And so they ordered him immediately jailed. Now, this is the guy that, I mean, the thing about it is, our democracy is still young in terms of the lifespan of nations, I guess. And yet, it is not exhibiting the same ability as Brazil's democracy to hold its seditious president to account. All Bolsinarro did is what Trump did. He did exactly. Trump had shown him how. Trump did his thing first, and then when Bolsonaro lost his election, he proceeded to do everything that Trump had done. Set a mob on the legislature, all of that. He did it all. But in Brazil, even though this happened after our January 6th, this guy is in jail. So what does that say about our legal system or its structure or its ability to be played, for wrenches to be thrown in the works? Because we've watched as that's happened. Delay after delay after delay after delay after delay, and the packing of the court. Also by nefarious means, the refusal of allowing the president at the time, Barack Obama, to put a justice on the court. We want to thank Mitch McConnell for that, right? I mean, if you think of everything that has happened, it is, you could say, it's Republicans playing hardball. But it's more than that. It bespeaks a failure in the structure of our democratic system. Whatever Brazil's got, whatever their constitution says, it's working better than ours because they've been able to hold their felonious president to account, and he's going to prison. Donald Trump tried, as you know, to interfere, trying to help his buddy. I think, did he put like 700% tariffs or something on Brazil? He threatened them economically in every way he could. And they did not blink. So I raise my glass to the young Brazilian democracy, and I suggest that our older democracy learn from this younger one. I wish to God that our system functioned in a way that could give us the kind of relief that Brazilians are getting when even the high and mighty face justice. So I saw something that gave me some pause. It said that this is research, scientific research done, I think it was in England. After 72 hours without your phone, your brain activity begins to exhibit the same kind of patterns that are typical in substance withdrawal. So 72 hours after you have not been able to access your phone, your brain begins to look like, an alcoholic with DTs, or a heroin addict who's, hallucinating and crawling the walls. Which tells you what? Which tells you something most of us already know. That our brains are, and our children's brains and their children's brains are being altered truly by these damn things, which are appended to us. If you were to be able to check how many times in one day that you check your phone? What do you think the number would be? Seriously. I suspect well over 100 times. In an hour, in a normal hour, how many times do you look? Check it. How much panic do you feel if you find yourself without it? If you inadvertently leave the house and you leave it behind? I know there's no altering this course we're on. But I just know that it's not good for what I think of as our humanity. Just saying. So Trump finally pardoned somebody I don't have an issue with. Happened to be a turkey, but whatever. Yeah. Gobble and Waddle. He pardoned 2 of them. Those are lucky birds. Well, watch. We'll read a story in a few weeks about them attacking some other birds at some sanctuary somewhere, or found hiding some kind of gun under their wattle. Who knows? Deborah is saying Trump said on camera that he talked to Bolsinarro and was going to meet with him. Where the fuck's he going to meet with him? He's going to Brazil and going into prison? Maybe they could just keep Trump there too. That would be a great service to the country. Good God. Well, yeah, he said he was going to meet with him. Oh, God, guys, I don't know. We got Trump. We got him. Hey, Aaron has posed a question that I want to throw at you. He says, what about all these death threats? Like, for instance, I've talked very little about the Democratic lawmakers who did that video, who Trump has called for their execution, and Mark Kelly now is being threatened by the Pentagon, and DeLuzio says, and the others say that the FBI is on them, and also wanting to interview them as, I guess, domestic terrorists. But they are also, as we know, having to have a great deal of security around their offices, their families, their homes, because of a constant stream of death threats. Because when the President of the United States calls for your head, there are plenty of people quite willing to get it for him. So Aaron's wondering this. So all these death threats are being made, but apparently no one's ever investigated or charged, because he's saying we don't ever see anything. He says he's not. Every once in a while I'll see something. Remember the guy? It was the only reason we heard about this one is because he had the same name as the vice president. I shared with you a story out of, I think it was Ypsilanti, Michigan. A guy named J.D. Vance has been sent to prison because of his threats toward his namesake, the vice president, and also the president. And he's going to jail. So we do know about that one. And the only reason that got attention, I suspect, is because, the he had the same name as J.D. Vance. So I'm wondering if, in fact, these people are being found. And on the other hand, who would be doing that, finding them? Kash Patel's FBI? They'd be the ones, right? Kash Patel's FBI has been gutted. The best of them have been relieved of their duties, and most of them, I think, have been sent off to round up any brown people they see, right? Is that what they're doing? So that might, interfere with actually getting people making death threats to elected officials. Have no idea. But Aaron's wondering, because he doesn't see any stories. All these death threats, where are all the stories of the people who made them being arrested? He posits that if I did something like that, I'd be caught in 5 minutes. And wouldn't a few examples of people being charged for doing this help prevent these things from happening? He's just asking. I mean, I think they're good questions, but I don't know. I've already suggested what I do know. There've been some local cases of threats made to local politicians. There have been some against members of the Jewish community here, and as far as I know, those have been, the guys have been found and charged. So maybe, but it's not like big news. Maybe because, the old saw about news is not dog bites man. News is man bites dog. When something is, the norm, it ceases to qualify as news. And unfortunately, death threats against office holders, public officials, is nothing new in America, where, to quote H. Rap Brown, violence is as American as apple pie, and certainly the threat of violence. What? Richard's saying he listened to my brother last night. What? On gift giving. He listened to the show from December 7th, 2018. Well, how the hell did you know that would be when he was on about gift giving? I don't get that. Anyway, he says it was a great show. Well, I'm glad to hear it. But I was hoping to, do a new edition. And a new addition in addition to that. I was thinking that some of you might think it, I don't know what, but that I have my sister on, I have my brother on, how pathetic. But I mean, I can't help it. I'm lucky in that I have my siblings are, they're fun to talk to. Sometimes, often, but yeah, I'm starting to get the feeling though that my brother's not going to be calling in. If he doesn't, we'll have him sometime, maybe next week or something. Just we'll try to get him in before Christmas. He was my older brother. He is my older brother by about 18 months. And I looked up to him much of my life till I wised up. And he screwed me up in more ways than you can imagine with his teaching me about the world. Because he is such an excruciatingly kind of self-conscious human being that what he told me is not like the norm ever. I'm into norms today. And it made me extremely I totally blame him for my extreme self-consciousness. Imagine you're a little girl and your older brother decides to tell you about sex. Let me tell you what he said to me as I sat with big-eyed, rapt attention. I can't remember our ages, but he was young, I was younger. And he said, sex is when the ugliest part of his body and puts it into the ugliest part of the woman's body. I'm pausing for your reaction. I don't know if you're laughing, if you're horrified, or whatever, but that's what he told me. And with my brother, these pronouncements, it's not that they're untrue. It's not that you could argue the case, but it's not what. Yeah, I know, buffering. Fuck this. Hey guys, I think the buffering has stopped for a minute. Is it something I said? Just because I said that about my brother's definition of sex, and then we lost our connection? It'll probably happen again. Anyway. Shit. Okay. I gotta tell you, when my when my mom, tried to correct my impressions, and she told me about sex, she did such an appallingly lousy job that I was mixed up for the rest of my life, I think, pretty much. I don't know, my mother went far afield. And she told me, oh, fuck! I'm sorry, I just swore because I went out again. I don't know. All I know is that I was reading the Sunday paper one day. I've told this story before. I was a kid, but it was after the talk with my mom. And I was reading a story about Marilyn Monroe being somebody's protege. And I was so stunned. I thought, you mean they just put it right out there that she's his protege? Because my mother must have told me about prostitutes, and in my head, that word got mixed up with protege. So anytime I saw the word protege, I thought prostitute. I don't know how long that went on. Okay. I know, I'm gone, I'm here, I'm gone, I've had it, I'm finished, I don't know what to do. I'm glad my brother's not on. Yeah. Am I gone again? I think I'm on. I mean, I get the same circle of death that I guess you guys see. So, yeah. I am back. Oh, shit. Okay, obit of the day. She was old. 141. It was a tortoise. The beloved tortoise of the San Diego Zoo. Her name was Grandma. Not too clever. Sounds like maybe they let the kids name her. I don't know. Anyway, imagine she was born when who was president? She was born when Chester Arthur was president. When Nick Offerman was president. if you've watched that wonderful Netflix thing about President Garfield's assassination. Because Chester Arthur was his vice president. Just saying. But they think she was born when, Chester Arthur was president. And she was born in the Galapagos, where her kind lived, until, by tons of them, until, of course, white men came and just slaughtered them. And so many of the species of these giant tortoises were destroyed forever. But her kind, there was a true effort to save them by bringing some to zoos in the United States. And this happened like about 100 years ago. And she was one of the, I don't know, she would have been about 40. a young 40 or something. She was brought to the San Diego Zoo, and where she lived out her life. Everybody seemed to like her. World War II, she turned 60. And the effort to save these giant tortoises did succeed. Many repatriated back and now protected to their native habitat. There are now 30,000 of them worldwide. And there you go. They spend the first 3 years of their lives stuck under a rock because their shells haven't hardened. So they've got to find, a rock that has hardened and hide under that from those that would snatch them and eat them. And so the first 3 years are, sort of they're stuck, but once their shells harden, they venture out. I love learning about animals and nature, and it always makes me think there's so much I don't know. And I wonder why I'm not willing to really sit down and learn. If I'm so curious about how the hell a spider makes a spider web, then why the hell don't I take a few days to immerse myself in the subject? I got the time. But I think I'm lazy, I guess. Or I'm wondering if I have the capacity to actually understand these scientific things. I don't recall if I told you a fact that I came upon reading a novel that so blew me away that I really do want to look more into it. The novel is won the Pulitzer Prize, I don't know, about 10 years back. It's called The Over Story. Have I mentioned this? It is amazing, but it is centered on the astonishing lives of trees. Although it is a novel, but man, you learn so much, and I now find myself staring at trees in a different way. I've always been in awe of them. We couldn't live without them. They literally give us life, shelter, food, oxygen. It's unbelievable what they give us. And what do? We chop them down. Oh, that other Train Dreams, another thing I told you should watch, is an amazing movie, but it has to do with the life of a logger, a man who spent his life chopping trees down and came to appreciate them as well. What was I looking for when I so rudely interrupted myself in some way? I don't have a clue. I had something in my head. Oh, yeah. This thing I learned from the Over story. Did I tell you this? A fig tree. There are tons of species. I don't know how many. Tons of them. And every species of fig tree has just one species of wasp that it relies on for pollination. Now, how the hell does that happen? Every fig species, and there's, I don't know, over 100, has a different species of wasp that is required for it to propagate. I just want to say, astonishing. And we don't think we just, have a fig. Without realizing the wondrousness. Man. So, there's been this thing I've wanted to share with you. It came out of Punchbowl, which is a journalistic source, and they shared a little morsel. I'm trying to find it here, written by an anonymous. You know, in this age of American neo-fascism, the amount of anonymity is extraordinary because, of course, that's what fascism does. People are fearful. So, as I've said many times, you read stories now and everyone seems to say has sources that are not identified, even though that always used to be the case. And they're not identified because they're fearful of retribution. And yeah, so here's a member of Congress venting about the state of his or her, I have no idea, situation under Trump. This entire White House team has treated all members like garbage. All. And Mike Johnson has let it happen because he wanted it to happen. That is not the sentiment of nearly all. That is the sentiment, excuse me. That is the sentiment of nearly all. Hawks, doves, rank and file, appropriators, authorizers, I'm not sure what all that means. The arrogance, this anonymous Republican says, the arrogance of this White House team is off-putting to members who are run roughshod and threatened. They don't even allow little wins, like announcing small grants or even responding from agencies. Not even the high profile, the regular rank and file, random members are more upset than ever. Members know they are going into the minority after the midterms. Expect more explosive early resignations. It's a tinderbox. Morale has never been lower. Mike Johnson will be stripped of his gavel and they will lose the majority before this term is out. Well, so, I mean, they are expecting a blue wave and a red bloodbath in the upcoming 26 elections, midterm elections. But we all know that. That's assuming, of course, as we also all know, that those elections are freely and fairly held and tabulated. Because the same people that this guy is ranting about are busily doing what they've always done, trying to fix the elections as much as they can, because they know they're heading for a drubbing if the people are heard. And I saw unhappily that Indiana, a fully Republican state that had stood up to Trump's call to gerrymander, to create more congressional seats that would go to Republicans. They stood up to him, and now they're caving. So God knows they're calling a session to do it. One, as I said before about in other instances, can only imagine the threats that were made. The threats that were made to get people to turn around and do what he wanted them to do. It's really something. The largest turkey ever grown was in Great Britain in 1989, 86 pounds. Whoa. I never think of turkeys as being grown, but they are a crop, right? Kinda, sorta. It's just animal. Livestock are raised, yeah? The largest turkey ever. I'm trying to think what verb I would use. I would just say the largest turkey ever, the largest domesticated turkey, or the largest farmed turkey. But I don't think I would have said grown, but I'm sure that must be the right verb. Huh. Okay. What else? I had expected my brother, so it's not like I got a lot of info here for you guys. This is a testament to my ability to tap dance and bullshit. I know what I wanted to share with you. On my knee, I had surgery, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm in that wonderful period of rehab. And so twice a week I go and am tortured. Pain is inflicted upon me. And I usually walk in just fine, and I limp out. such is rehab. Go figure. Anyway, I've got a wonderful rehab person, and we were talking about American consumers' addiction to convenience. And, it's something we've been trained. It's so easy to create expectations, in the commercial realm, that then if you take them away, like, we feel beleaguered. Like, you didn't used to be able to simply order anything you wanted and it would be on your doorstep in 24 hours, right? It's ridiculous. If you wanted something, you would have to generally get off your ass and seek it out. But no more. And it's because of, lots of things. But we, the consumer, are ultimately the ones who created this. Because we fell for it hard. Convenience and low prices. And you know what that's done? Just in the last 20 years, our love of low prices and convenience. It's put wonderful mom and pop, local, family-owned businesses into bankruptcy. It's put them out of business because they can't compete. And a whole way of life went with it. That would not have happened if we had not succumbed so readily to lower prices. Everything in one place. Convenience. And Walmart, being one of the first to start grooming us, was famous for lowering prices by leaning on the brands that it stocked to lean on. People got leaned on to lower prices so that Walmart could lower prices to get us coming in for those lower prices. What did those lower prices create? Lower wages. That's when people started noticing that having a job wasn't all it was cracked up to be in terms of being able to live. So wages, our complicity has created this cancer of average Americans, regular people, not being able to make it. And then getting angry and bitter and electing somebody like Donald fucking Trump. I'm just saying, connect the dots. Us chasing low prices and convenience. Heather Cox Richardson, the chronicler of these times and a historian, noted today that we are living in what to her looks like an almost carbon copy of the Gilded Age of the late 1800s. The age of the gazillionaires then too, and of the people working their tails off and getting nowhere. You'll think of Carnegie and Frick and Pittsburgh. Huge wealth being created, but not shared. And she points out that it was women who did most of the buying, who started to realize their buying power. And how women are again realizing that we individually as consumers have great power. And you can get big businesses' attention by withholding your dollars. That's why there is a boycott. Many. You saw they got Jimmy Fallon right back on. Disney caved, right? And we've got to do that. I know the ones being targeted right now are what? Amazon. I've targeted them from day one. Amazon, Target, for its, I guess, killing of their diversity programs, and Home Depot for being now known pretty much for, if you want to see hardworking people rounded up and terrified and disappeared, just go over to a Home Depot parking lot, right? So there is an effort to get us individually to stop being slaves to convenience. Well, but the Home Depot's right around the corner. And the Walmart, I mean, come on. No. It's not a good enough reason. When you look at what our aiding and abetting has resulted in, it's resulted in the end of small business. It's resulted in lowering wages for people. It's resulted in monopolies being created, who run roughshod over us all and keep us drunk on convenience. There's a phrase that's being used to try to rally people in this holiday season to spend their money with local people. Get out of those big box stores. Get out. Think about your money and stop using fucking Bezos' Amazon. You know you can live without it. Anyway, it's called We Ain't Buying It. We ain't buying it. But I couldn't live without Amazon. We ain't buying it. I have a neighbor that on any given day, it is not surprising to see at least 5 different deliveries. I'll see Amazon, I'll see UPS, I'll see FedEx. I live on a little street that used to be so quiet, and now it is teeming with these trucks. I ain't buying it. Each one of us can make a difference. I'm just saying. And I think that's it for me. I'm starting to harangue. But, yeah, so we were talking about how sometimes, it's hard. It's really hard to stick to your principles in that regard. But I'm really begging you to stop being part of the problem. Of part of the poverty, part of the problem of the impoverished worker in America, and the huge discrepancy in wealth distribution, the rise of monopolies. And it all requires our compliance and our addiction to convenience and slightly lower prices. And I think it makes us part of something that I think is really evil. So just think of that. That's all I'm saying. Stop buying it. This crazed consumerism we live in. It's made us into a shallow people. Pathetic. I've never stepped foot in a Walmart. I have never stepped foot in a Walmart. I stepped foot in a Sam's Club, and then I found out that was Walmart. So I got out of that. Haven't done that since. That was long ago. I have never stepped foot in a Walmart because they started something really terrible. The sons of bitches. Okay, so that's it. That's it for me. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be grateful for the power you have to spend your money in ways that can make a difference instead of being part of the problem. Be thankful. And God help you if you got Trumpers you're having the holiday with. I am so lucky that I don't have that problem. Oh, my God. I can't imagine. But God help you. Anyway, that be it. I'll talk at you again on Monday. Okay? Thank you so much. Uh-oh, I forgot the outro. And you know how long that takes. Never mind. Don't stick around for it. Be forever. What'd I say? Yeah.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen